Welcome back to Reflections with Emrys. Let's take a moment to see what each symbol has to offer today. Today's symbols are the ram, the rune, Othila, and the Duir, also known as the oak. The ram is a symbol of courage, forward motion, and the will to begin. At its core, the ram carries bold, initiating energy, the spark that says, I am here and I choose my path. It represents determination and the strength to meet resistance without immediately retreating. The ram also symbolizes leadership, especially the kind that comes from inner conviction rather than outer approval. It teaches momentum, not reckless speed, but purposeful movement that breaks hesitation. And it reminds you that sometimes the most sacred act is simply starting. In life, the ram may show up when you have been waiting for permission, and it is time to claim your own authority. It can appear when you are facing an obstacle that requires bravery more than strategy. You might feel a rising impatience, not as a flaw, but as a signal that your spirit is ready to move. It often arrives when you are being asked to take the first step, make the first call, set the first boundary, speak the first truth. And it can also remind you to lead with clarity, not with force, so your drive becomes direction. Its reflection is this: let your courage be clean, not combative. Begin from the place that feels honest, not from the place that feels reactive. You do not need to prove your strength by pushing against everything. Choose one true direction and let your energy commit to it. Othila is a rune of heritage, home, and what you are meant to protect and pass on. At its core, Othila speaks to inheritance, not only material, but values, wisdom, lineage, and the inner feeling of belonging. It symbolizes boundaries that define what is yours to steward: your space, your standards, your legacy. This rune carries the energy of roots, the deep stability that comes from knowing where you come from and what you stand for. It also asks you to consider what patterns you have inherited and whether they still serve you. And it reminds you that home is not only a place, it is a promise you keep with yourself. In life, Othila may show up when questions of family, land, community, or long-term security are rising to the surface. It can appear when you are making decisions about where you belong, where you invest, and what you build for the future. You might feel called to strengthen boundaries around your time, your resources, or your emotional labor. It often arrives when you are sorting out what is truly yours versus what you have been carrying out of obligation. And it can signal a season of reclaiming, choosing tradition with intention and releasing tradition that limits you. Its reflection is this: honor what has shaped you without letting it define you completely. Keep what is nourishing and return what is not yours to hold. Protect your home, inner and outer, with steady care. Your legacy begins in the choices you make today. Duir, the oak, is a symbol of strength, endurance, and grounded authority. At its core, oak represents steadfast power, the kind that grows slowly and holds its shape through storms. It symbolizes integrity, staying rooted in your values even when conditions change around you. Oak carries protection and shelter, offering stability not just for you, but for others who depend on your steadiness. It teaches patience because true strength is built over time, ring by ring. And it reminds you that resilience is often quiet, consistent, and deeply rooted. In life, oak may show up when you are being asked to stand firm, to hold a line, or to become the stable point in a shifting situation. It can appear when you are building something long-term: a family foundation, a career structure, a personal practice, a home. You might feel called to simplify, to return to what is solid, and to stop chasing what is flimsy or draining. Oak often arrives when you need to trust your own authority, not as dominance, but as grounded self-respect. And it can encourage you to be reliable to yourself first, so your life becomes sturdy from the inside out. Its reflection is this: choose steadiness over spectacle. Let your strength be rooted, not rigid. You do not need to be the loudest to be the most certain. Stand in what you know is right and let time confirm your integrity. When we look at these three symbols together, a clear theme begins to form. The ram brings initiation and courage. Othila brings belonging and legacy. Duir brings stability and endurance. Together, they suggest a powerful moment of claiming your ground, choosing what you stand for, and taking action to protect what matters. The ram says move, begin, lead, especially if you have been hesitating out of doubt or fear of conflict. Othila asks you to remember what is truly yours to steward: your home, your values, your people, your future. Duir anchors it all with patience and strength, reminding you that the most meaningful changes are built to last. The ram encourages you to act with courage. Othila invites you to define your boundaries and your inheritance. Duir reminds you to stay rooted and build with integrity. The mood here is resolute, protective, and deeply grounded. It feels like planting your feet and realizing you do not need to chase what already belongs to you. There is a lesson about mature power, the kind that does not need to prove itself, only to be lived. This combination suggests that you may be stepping into a role of greater responsibility, not as a burden, but as a calling. And it teaches that courage is most effective when it serves something enduring, a home, a legacy, a truth you are ready to uphold. Today's reflection is this: be brave enough to begin, wise enough to claim what is yours, and steady enough to build it for the long term. Thank you for joining me. I'll meet you in the next reflection.